With the release of Jumanji: The Next Level, we now have three Jumanji movies, which is insane that we have a trilogy of Jumanji movies. But anyways, now that we have three, it's the perfect time to do a ranking. Just one quick thing before I do get started. If you're new to my channel, click that subscribe button so you can go back to the other movie reviews, and I'll actually also have a review for Jumanji Next Level. So if you want to see that kind of stuff, click subscribe. But anyways, on to number 3. I'm coming in last place. I found this probably to be the easiest of all the ones to put. I put Jumanji Next Level down here. Now, I really did enjoy this movie. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, but just this movie compared to the other ones, I just kind of find it to be very generic. Where the first one, it's in our world, so it's different. The second one is in the game, and it's a real body swap. But then for the third one, Jumanji: The Next Level, it's kind of a rinse and repeat. It's very much the same as it was in the Welcome to the Jungle. So I just felt it wasn't very original compared to the other two. Like the jokes, I found the jokes to be a lot funnier in this movie than I did in the first one. I thought the action sequences were a lot better in this movie than I did in the first one. But I just thought the first one had a lot more heart. I felt that was a real coming to age movie where all the characters were growing as people, where I just didn't really feel like anyone was growing throughout this movie. As well, I just found the original cast in the first one was a lot better than the cast in this one. Like, they added great additions like Danny DeVito and Danny Glover, which I thought were probably the best part about this movie when Kevin Hart and The Rock were impersonating them. But I just found this movie it's not as good. It was kind of stale just because I found it to be a rinse and repeat as the first movie. But I did enjoy it. I just not as much as I did the other movies. And coming in at number 2, I've got the original Jumanji. I rewatched this movie leading up to this ranking because I hadn't seen it in so many years. So I said, okay, I'm going to sit down and rewatch it. And then upon rewatch, the first half before Robin Williams comes in is very boring, very dull, and very slow. I found it to be like, I was thinking to myself, why did I like this movie so much? I don't remember why it was so good. But as soon as Robin Williams comes in, it just kicks off and it does not stop. He really just dominates this movie. The other cast, like the kids and the woman, they're okay, but Robin Williams, it's 100% his movie. Like, even if you look at the cover, he's the only one on there. They don't have any of the other characters because this is very much Robin Williams' movie. I enjoyed his performance in this movie massively. He really made this movie. I thought the jokes in this movie, they weren't as good as the ones in the two newer movies, but just the Robin Williams aspect of this, I just thought was by far the best. I also liked that it was in our world rather than in the new movies we've seen just in the game, but the fact that these are coming into our world and you'd be seeing herds coming running through the town, and you get the guy who's a hunter. I actually like the his whole hunter character when he goes to the gun shop and he gets this big machine gun. The guy goes, oh, you have to get a permit. He just hands him some money. He goes, oh, okay, you can just have it. And I like the aspect that in the second and the third movie, it's just getting something to somewhere. But this one, they have to hold on to that board game. If they lose the board game, like, massive stuff's gonna happen. So that's such a driving force that they absolutely have to have that board game. And the only way for them everything to go back to normal is to actually get that board game back. Which I felt, actually no, sorry, it's the only way to get the game finished is to get the board game back. So they absolutely have to get that board game back. Where in the video game aspect, it doesn't matter because they're inside the game. You have to get some, like it's usually a diamond. They have to get a diamond somewhere. But I just found this one to be a lot more, even though the new ones have the lives, I found this one to be a lot more intense just because it is literally destroying a town. Where in the Jumanji, it's inside a game, only a few people could die, but you can kind of see in this one that, like, some people got stung by that wasp, like possibly a lot of people died in this one. So I just thought this one, for the stakes, to be a lot better, and I enjoy this one really very much. And coming in at number 1, my first place and most favourite Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle. If you told me when this movie was announced that this would be my favourite Jumanji, I wouldn't have believed you because I didn't have much faith in this movie before it came out. But upon reflecting, this movie is absolutely a blast. I have seen this movie probably 6 or 7 times now since it's come out, and I just think it's absolutely hilarious. Like, this movie came out middle of December in 2017. I didn't see this until like towards the end of January 2018 because I didn't really want to see it. I didn't really care. But I heard everyone ranting and raving about how good it was. I'm like, okay, I'll go check it out, and it's a blast. This movie is absolutely hilarious. You get the 4 leads of The Rock, Karen Gillan, Jack Black, and Kevin Hart, and they're all absolutely hilarious. You get Jack Black, which is probably he's a standout with this movie. He's playing a teenage girl, and he plays it so well. It made you think, like, is Jack a teenage girl on the inside? Because he just plays it absolutely phenomenal. And The Rock is playing someone who's terrified of everything. With The Rock, it just seems like The Rock is not terrified of anything, so he's playing someone who's terrified of everything. And there's a scene when he's like, talking to himself like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And it's absolutely, it's hilarious seeing that coming from The Rock, because that's something you'd never ever think you'd see come from The Rock, just because he's such a massive person. To see him acting like that, and as I said, I thought the action and the comedy was better in the sequel. Well, I still think this movie is absolutely hilarious. The action sequences, they're not as good, but there's still action sequences there. They're still interesting. And so you got Nick Jonas in this movie, and I didn't know he was in this movie. When he pulled up, I was like, is that Nick Jonas? Like, 'cause I couldn't tell because he's so good in this movie. Because I didn't think, from memory, I don't know if he's acted in anything before this besides like the Jonas Brothers TV shows. But he's a good actor in these, especially in this first one. He's a really good actor in the first one. And then along the lines of later on in this movie, the kind of villain he's brought in. He's not brought in straight away, but he's brought in pretty middle of the movie, and he's very generic. But they kind of play that to their strength. Like, oh yeah, he's generic because video game characters or villains, you don't really get to see much of them. You only get to see much of them when they're doing their dialogue or anything like that. So the fact that they use that to their advantage so they could have a weak villain, it was smart in a way where they could have just given him a lot of development. But then you think, like, he doesn't need a lot of development, so why would they bother giving him a lot of development? As well, the stakes in this movie, as I said, they're not as high because I knew no one was going to die, especially because they got to 3 bars and like they all get down to 1. I knew no one was actually going to die because I just didn't think, like, yeah, this is a real family friendly movie. I don't think anything like that's going to happen. But the whole body swap element, as I said, I really enjoyed. I thought this movie is fantastic. I love watching it. It's one, like, it's a comedy you can just throw on and just switch off your brain because I just think it's such a fun movie. Anyway, so that's why I had to put that in at number 1. So that's my ranking of the Jumanji movies. Let me know your ranking down below. Let me know if it's different than mine or if it's the exact same. Anyway, so click that subscribe button as well. Like and share if you're new to this channel. And if you want to see my review of Jumanji Next Level, I'll leave a link right up here. And as always, thanks for watching.